Hey guys, it's Steve here from AftermathReviews.com, and I'm going to bring you another music review of the new Strokes album. This is their first album after 5 years. Most of you have probably heard their first album called This Is It. They've got a couple songs that everybody kind of knows, Last Night and Someday. So the first track on the album is a little bit more funky. They've kind of gone away from their initial sound. On their first album, Is This It?, they were kind of known as like a raw, sort of underground, almost punky kind of sound. Whereas on the new one, it's kind of more of an evolution of their sound. They've done a little bit more on the side of production things. It's kind of a blend of almost electronic music in parts, even kind of some 70s, 80s kind of rock. They've kind of just taken it up a notch. There's still that Strokes sound in there, but it's a little bit different from what you're used to. Their first single off the album is called Under the Cover of Darkness, and it's a little bit more of the usual Strokes sound, but again, their sound has just kind of evolved a bit more, just a little bit more complex, less raw, more sort of full sounding. My personal favorite track on the album is the last track. For some reason, I seem to like the last tracks on albums. I like the last track of the last album I reviewed. I like the last track on this album. I don't know, it's weird. But anyways, it's called Life is Simple in the Moonlight, and it's just a little bit more funky. It's kind of like, again, it's just got more of a full sound. If you like the band MGMT, you'd probably like this album because it's kind of in the same style. They experiment with a little bit more funky rhythms and funky beats, but still have that kind of raw rock sound. I actually like this album for a few different reasons than I liked the first album. I liked the first album because it was raw and kind of a little bit more underground, whereas I like this album because it's got a bit more complex sounds. So if you're looking for something that sounds like their first album, you may not be happy with this one. I actually found it took a couple listens to get used to it, because you're expecting that sound from the first album, but once you listen to it 2 or 3 times, it really starts to grow on you. So having said that, I'd give the Strokes' new album 85%.